Do you self-sabotage? My guess is you probably do because you're human. Every person I've ever run into, myself included, so why do we do that? Why do we get in our own way? I think in part it's because we're afraid of our own greatness. We're afraid if I actually showed up and stayed on mission, that would require a lot from me. That would require my time, my money, my energy. It would require showing up and being present and all these different things. And sometimes I just don't want to get out of bed. So, of course, we're going to self sabotage. And self sabotage is anything that distracts you from your primary mission. Okay. In warfare, what happens? The military goes out on a mission, they have an objective, and the enemy then comes in and blocks that. It's called sabotaging, and that we're blocking the mission. Anytime I'm self sabotaging, what I'm doing is I am consciously or unconsciously blocking my primary mission. Now, our mission is a lot of different things. It's not just necessarily one thing. Just like in a war, the warfare, the general mission of the war, the objective is to win the war. And then there's all these little battles and maneuvers and strategies that come in that help the army win that war. In the mission of life is me basically in warfare. I'm in warfare with my ego. I'm in warfare with my lower self that I drop into. I'm at warfare with the world who wants to hold me back. My mission has to be so great that even if there's an obstacle in the way, that I'm pushing through and I'm moving through it. And I think one of the ways to do that is to understand how we self sabotage. Now, one of the things I've struggled with, and probably the number one thing I tend to self sabotage the most, is my physical self. I have always struggled with weight. At the beginning of the year, I determined I was going to get into the best shape of my life. And so I started working out, I started eating right, and I started dropping weight. And then I plateaued. And when I plateaued, even though I was going to the gym, even though that I was eating right, my weight just stayed the same. In fact, it started to go up. Now, some people will say that's muscle, but it wasn't just muscle. It was, I don't know. But to me, it didn't seem like my weight should be going up that high proportionally. And what happened then was pizza. Pizza got in the way of my mission, which was to lose weight. And eventually I said, fuck it, and started eating again. And guess what happened? I started putting back on the weight. And why is it that we put on weight so much faster than we can lose it? So now I got to get back on mission. I got to get back on point, re-up, and understand, okay, this is where I fell down, but I got to get back up and I got to get on point, get point on mission. So self-sabotage is anything that gets in the way of your mission. And I want to give you 5 key points today that are going to help you with self-sabotage and help you get back on mission. So number 1 is you have to know what your mission is. Like most of us don't really know what our mission is because we've never sat down and strategically planned it out. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to end up? What is your primary purpose in living on this earth? And again, it can be a bunch of different things. Part of my mission is being a good father, being a good husband, being a good coach, being a good brother, being a good leader. Part of my mission is to serve others and try to serve others as powerfully as I can. When I'm distracted, when I'm not doing that, self sabotage, there's a block in the way. I'm not on mission. I'm not on point. So you have to know what your mission is. So number 1 is you got to know what your mission is. And if you don't know what your mission is, I said this before, I'll say it again. Your mission is to figure out what your mission is. Your mission is what legacy, what impact are you going to leave this earth? We're here for a very, very, very short period of time. And the older I get, the closer that comes, the more afraid I kind of get of it. And I want to leave a legacy. I want to make an impact. I want to put a dent in the universe. And I can't do that if I don't know what my mission is. My mission is to serve powerfully and to take care of myself so that I can serve powerfully, to educate myself, to treat myself with kindness and love and respect in the same way I treat other people with kindness, love, and respect. Anytime I'm not doing that, I'm off mission and I'm self-sabotaging. Number two, I think it's a great idea to understand your patterns. Getting a sort of a helicopter view of your life. What are your patterns? What are the things? How do you distract yourself? What are ways in which the distractions come in and take you off your primary mission? For example, let's say you get upset at somebody and you start ruminating and thinking about this person for whatever reason. That's distracting you from being on point. What you have to do then is train your brain to not fall into the trap of self-sabotaging and getting distracted, but to move forward and realize that this thing that I'm ruminating about is really just a distraction and it's keeping me from being on point and my eye on the prize. You got to know what your patterns are. For me, my pattern is eating. My pattern is like I love food and I love to eat. The problem is that I don't do it mindfully. You probably have something in your life that oftentimes takes you off mission, that distracts you. Figure out what those things are. It might be anger, it might be food, it might be some other addiction, it might be porn, it might be just, laziness. Maybe it's just like smoking dope so that you don't do anything. Whatever it is, whatever that distraction is that's keeping you off of your mission is your self-sabotage. So figure out what your patterns are. Number three, your mission is not about you. Your mission is about your gift. We all have a gift. We all have a reason that we're here on the planet. And I got to figure out what my gift is. I figured out what my gift was a long time ago when I was on a retreat and I got a message from the universe that basically said, my gift is to inspire others into the battle of life because life's hard. My gift is speaking out and encouraging people and letting them know that they can do the thing, whatever it is that they set their mind to. So you can't make it about yourself. You have to make it about your gift. And your gift becomes so important. Your mission is to give that gift. It becomes so important that whatever distractions get in your way, whenever you self-sabotage, whenever you block your primary mission, that you get back up. And that I think is one of the most important aspects of your mission is to know that you're going to get distracted and rather than being discouraged by it, you simply get up and you move forward and you head straight towards that gift. Your mission is to give your gift. Number four, I said this at the beginning, but don't fear your greatness. There is something within you, a message that you have, a service that you have, a talent that you have, an ability that you have that the world needs. You have a greatness. I believe everybody has greatness within them. And part of our role on life is to figure out what our gift is and then to give it fearlessly. So don't fear your greatness. Don't fear the gift. And I think if you can, that way, when you're keeping your eye on the prize, that way it's not something that is about you. It's something about what you do and how you give. Number five. Number five is keep your eye on the prize. Don't get distracted. You know, shiny little thing. It's like blinders. It's like straight on, straight ahead, moving forward always. And when you get blown off course, you get back on. You know where you're going. A part of your mission is to know where you're going. What are you doing? What are you doing in life? Your mission is to give your gift. And your mission is to give your gift and to keep your eye on the prize. Keep moving forward. When you get distracted, move on back. It's kind of like meditation. I think is a great example of this, where you're focusing on your breath, and then the monkey brain starts to distract, and then you realize you're distracted, and you pull it back to the breath. That's the muscle that bringing it. That's the muscle that we're exercising when we do meditation. And it's a great muscle because then we'll start to recognize if we're doing meditation, you start to recognize, oh, hey, I'm off mission. I'm off course. Time to get back in alignment. Okay. So, how are you self sabotaging? What are some of the things that you do to self sabotage? What is your mission? And what are you going to do to get back on it when you fall down? Make a comment below. What are the things that you do to self sabotage? What are the things that you do that take you off mission, that take you off point? Because if you can figure that out, if you can figure out what those obstacles are, the way that you do that, then you have a fighting chance of stopping the self sabotage, or at the very least, recognizing when it comes up so that you can get back on mission. Anyway, big love. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.